Hey y'all, good morning where I am and at the time I'm recording, but good afternoon, good evening, depending on what time you are watching. Come on in and sit a spell. And thank you so much for coming on and spending time with your girl Brown Grits, aka Hepzibah, on this morning or this afternoon or evening. I was supposed to be having a video conference with the executive director of one of my contract positions, and it was scheduled for 10 a.m. but she messaged and said she was not going to be able to get on until 10. So I said, oh, okay, this gives me time to get in there and get video number 25, and I'm still alive. I'm here, and I'm so excited for the 30 days to be over because it's going to be perfect timing for what I have had going on the last 2 weeks, getting acclimated to this third contract. It's going to be perfect timing for me to really start focusing on growth and actually having a purposeful channel. The 30-day challenge has been just for me to get it in my nervous system and get acclimated and get into the habit, get over the hump of procrastinating and actually creating content and posting so consistent. So that's the purpose of the 30 days. And so it's perfect timing. It'll be perfect timing for me to become intentional. I've already been making notes and thinking about things that I want to share because my life has been, to say the least, very eventful and colorful in a good, bad, and ugly kind of way. I have a mixture of successes, failures, false launches, and relationship, ministry, just such a plethora of things. And I'm so grateful for each and every one of those things that I've experienced, the different iterations of me. I'm borrowing that term from Tracy Lynn, honey, of the jewelry company, Tracy Lynn Jewelry. She's that's a different iteration of me. And even the iteration that you're getting, I already see the new version of her because I'm coming into such an amazing place and space. So thank you for hanging in there with me. I appreciate you so much. And any of the 1 to 4 views, to the 5, the 8, the 7, the 25, I appreciate it because even in this, I'm taking it seriously and concerned about the quality of my content. Speaking of the quality, look what your girl got. So I ordered this from TikTok Shop. So I'm getting ready. You see what I'm doing? I'm getting ready. I got my little mirror selfie thing so I can record from the camera side so that I can give you better quality shots and turn the camera to the horizontal way. So I'm excited about this. So I'm preparing. I'm getting content ready. I'm getting some of the sound stuff and the video stuff ready at the level that I'm at right now. And then the next thing is gonna be the editing. Getting the I'm gonna get a dupe of the Insta360 camera. I saw a $119 dupe because the Insta360s that I saw on Amazon, they range anywhere from $600 and something to $1,000 depending on what package you get. So I'm gonna get a dupe starting out so that I can take you places and vlog while we go shopping or having events, because I'm a part of a ladies social club here in Tampa, so we do events. And yeah, I just really want to share my life, share my world with you. And I am excited about it. So I am making preparation for life beyond day 30. This has been a great experience, to help me even with my ministry, my brand channels. And I feel like I'm getting equipped because what I'm doing while I'm watching these videos, I am also learning from other content creators, that are relatively new, but beyond the place that I am. And they are giving amazing tips. Anyway, one of the things that I want to talk about this morning that's been on my mind, I just saw, and I sent it via Instagram, I think, to several of my friends on Instagram. about being in a narcissistic relationship. And I was in a narcissistic relationship for 4 years, and off and on, but that's one of the characteristics of being in a narcissistic relationship, is the offness and onness of it, is the ghosting, the discarding, whether you do the discarding or they do the discarding. In my situation, I was discarded 2.5 months before our wedding day. That's a whole story time in itself. And I was discarded via text. My wedding was called off via text, and it had been 2.5 months since I had seen my fiance, because at that time, because he worked overseas, he did contract work. So he had left in January. I got the calling off of the wedding text in March. So from January to March, I had not seen him. So I literally have not seen him. No contact by no choice of my own, but it's been a very, very good thing for me healing wise, and coming to the realization of some things, acceptance, because I really didn't need a realization, but acceptance of some things, and the realization of it being a blessing to have been discarded. But I don't want to get into that about me. I want to talk about, because the key thing that helped me to heal, okay, the key thing, because when I didn't know anything about a narcissist, even though I know it's a lot of press about it, and people are self-diagnosing their mates and previous exes and whatever that as narcissists. But I shun labeling. For many reasons. So I never got into the narcissist. I never knew the definition of a narcissist. I never really knew what it was. And I had heard I have even heard my girls, my children, my girls and my sons talk about narcissism, in passing in conversation, or hearing them talk, but never knew what it was myself until after I was discarded, okay, by the narcissist. And God told me it's time for you to learn about narcissism and narcissists. So he did. For 3 months, he taught me about narcissists and narcissistic behavior, and how I was available for it, and how being in a narcissistic relationship had affected me. But after that 3 months of talking about that man, then God spent 3 months talking to me about me. And I don't believe in blame, but I do believe in accountability. And one of the things that God showed me is, and this has been a hard concept for me to learn as a quote unquote Christian woman. God is in control, especially living here in the South, being a brown girl raised in the South. It's one of the things that is passively and aggressively put into your psyche and a part of the culture in the Bible Belt, is that God is in control, and that everything happens to you, God did it, especially the bad stuff. So in my spiritual journey with God, and God teaching me, and yes, I believe in Yeshua Christ. I believe in Jesus Christ, Yeshua. Okay, the son, Mary's baby. Okay, the son of the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Let me make sure I clarify what I believe, and when I say God, what God I'm speaking of. I had to accept, as God taught me in my Christian journey through scripture, that I am accountable. And I got a short, there's only one short on my channel right now, where I am responsible for my reality. That my reality that I'm experiencing right now is me being doing this video. It's the sum total of my thoughts, my words, my actions, and my feelings. And that every reality is the sum total of my thoughts, my words, my actions, and my feelings. And it took me years to accept that after God revealed it. But some way, somehow, I had a realization that if I'm responsible for all of the poo-poo that's going on, and I am a recovering cusser, honey. So I know poo-poo sounds corny, but I refuse to say ish, okay? So I'm a recovering cussing saint. We need to do a video about that. Once I realized that if I'm responsible for, if I created the ish, the poo-poo, I can also create the joy, the abundance, the happiness, okay? And so what I would say to you, if you are in a narcissistic relationship, what part did you play? Because he did a horrible thing to me. Him discarding me 2.5 months before our wedding. I had left my job that I was making great money, what we consider good money. I making $45 an hour as a registered nurse. I had health benefits. I had retirement, all those things. And then when I left, he was like, baby, you can pursue your brand. I got you. I'll take care of you, this, that, and the third. And I had left my job. So I was not in a good place financially when I left. So I really and truly was dependent on him. There was no savings. There was no put away retirement because I had used it all when I tore my right rotator. Okay. And I was out of work on disability for 4.5 months instead of the 6 to 8 weeks that the doctor had told me, because I ultimately had ended up and tore the rotator. It wasn't tore at the time of the MRI. So discarding me didn't just dismantle me emotionally, okay? It dismantled me emotionally, spiritually, physically, and economically, okay? And so I was like, God, what you mean? What you mean? I'm responsible for my reality. I didn't make him do what he did. I didn't. And God let me know. No, you're not responsible for what he did. But your thoughts, words, speech, and actions made you available for the narcissistic abuse. You made yourself available for what you experienced with him. And I went, it's like, no, your actions didn't make him do what he did, but your actions made you available for that type of behavior, for that type of abuse. And so the back to the I wish I was tech savvy enough at this moment to insert that Instagram video, because I've seen people insert or whatever and show you, like, split the screen, and I know that there's a way to do it, but I won't be able to do it today. I'm gonna figure it out, and I may redo this just to share it, because it was so profound, because it was a woman giving a testimony of how she had been in a narcissistic marriage, experiencing narcissistic abuse from a narcissistic husband. And she said to her that God told her, yes, he is a narcissist, but you're an idolater. You are an idolater. And I didn't have to hear her say nothing else. She kept talking, and she gave, some supporting, statements and documentation and her experience and how God dealt with her. But that's what I want to say to you, because if you're in a narcissistic relationship and you keep going back, I got discarded 5 times, y'all, and still said yes to the proposal. That's idolatry. And I wish I could show you the video, because she said God asked her, yeah, you pray. Because she said she didn't understand how God could tell her she was in idolatry, because she was on her face. She was praying, several times a day for the marriage. She was on her face for this, blah, blah. And God said, yeah, you pray to me. You do. But who do you think about the most? Who do you worry about what they think the most? Who are you serving the most? Who you always running and trying to show your love and show your appreciation? And y'all, that was me. That was me. I was always in a posture of servitude to that man, thinking that that's what good Christian women do. We submitted, we serve, blah, blah, blah. So what part do you play? And are you willing to accept that you could very well be in idolatry and not even knowing? Because one thing I can tell you about ignorance in the kingdom, baby, it's not bliss, it's deadly. And the enemy loves ignorance. Matter of fact, that's all darkness is. It's ignorance. And Satan takes advantage of our lack of knowledge. The people perish for lack of knowledge. They perish in darkness. That's why he loves to keep you in your mind and in your head. He loves to keep you ruminating over and over again about what you could have done and what you did wrong and what this and that and third. He loves it. He loves it. And so once God showed me, he didn't call me an idolater, but he did say that I created that reality, and that which meant I created the opportunity. Yeah, he was going to be a narcissistic abuser to somebody, but it didn't have to be your girl. It didn't have to be me, but because of my thoughts, my actions, my feelings, and speech, I made myself available. I created time and space in the time-space continuum for it to be Hepzibah Beulah, Brown Grits, the one receiving of the narcissistic abuse, receiving of the abandonment, receiving of the financial crippling, receiving of the dismantling and the fragmenting of me, my essence and my being, the fragmentation of my I am. In that little clip, it's that lady says, God told her the narcissist needs an idolater. The narcissist needs an idolater. And if you are receiving narcissistic abuse, you in idolatry. Putting their needs before yours. Putting their opinions before yours. Putting their plans before yours, their purpose, things they want to do, putting their comfort above yours. That's idolatry. And I never would have called it idolatry. I got the revelation from God that I created my reality last year. Matter of fact, it was this time last year. July and August was months of reckoning for me in 2025. And once God got through showing me my part, I couldn't even be mad at him no more. I realized I was not a victim. I was a creator. See, we ignorance will make us think that we're victims. Because Satan will taunt you into a situation that's going to destroy you. And then he'll make fun of you for listening to him, for doing what he said to get you in the position he in. Then he'll come and taunt you for being dumb enough to listen to him. Ooh, I'm at 17 minutes and 40 seconds, honey. Listen, this is, I feel this. Maybe after day 30, we can do a little series, because y'all, we are not victims, especially the children of the Most High God. We are not victims. We are the victors. We are more than conquerors. So when we find ourselves in lack, when we find ourselves in toxic situations and relationships, when we find ourselves in sickness and disease, okay, we are out of alignment with the covenant. We're in an identity crisis. We talk about knowing our worth. No, do you know who you are and whose you are? Are the choices and the things you're thinking and saying and doing and speaking line up with you being a king and a priest? Line up with you being joint heirs with Christ, heirs of God and joint heirs with Christ. Does your speech, your thoughts, speech, actions and feelings line up with you being seated in heavenly places with Christ? Or do they line up with you being fatherless, a bastard, a grasshopper? Whew. Anyway, that was a little butter in them grits this time, wasn't it? Y'all. Anyway, I got to get ready for this. Let me show y'all part of my breakfast. Get my antioxidants in this morning. I enjoyed your little stay, and I hope you did too. Please treat people right. God bless you, and I love you.